To yet another edition of Tokyo 2020 in 20 minutes right here on the Leadership podcast. My name is Olawale Ayeni, and I'm not in the studio with alone. As you can see, I have Alpha. Alpha, how you doing?
Well, nice. Once again, pleasure to be here. I think we'll be starting today on a celebratory note, like we predicted yesterday.
Of course.
Nice to be here.
Also, we have the chairman, caretaker committee of the Nigerian Tennis Federation. His name is Ifedayo Akindoju. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Of course, Dapo join us all the way from Lagos. Dapo, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. It's a bright day.
Of course, it has been celebration from all over the country. From when Ese Brume actually for me here, she actually became the first Nigerian to win an Olympic medal. Talking about the ongoing 2020 Olympic Games. Before our own blessing Oborududu, get to win our own silver medal in that final earlier today. So Nigeria. That was not in the medal table before, but right now we're about 64 position on the medal table. It shows that we are beginning, to get a recognition of where we're supposed to be in the ongoing Tokyo Olympic Games. On this note, I want to welcome you, our viewers, for joining on the show today. Trust us, today is going to be a whole lot of bumper because we have a whole lot to talk about when we talk about the ongoing Tokyo 20 Olympic Games. But for now, we'll go to our first story where Ese Brume, she actually missed out in the silver sport. But for me, she actually missed out in the silver sport in that particular ranking, and she eventually won a bronze in that particular. What do you make of Ese Brume outing at the ongoing Tokyo Olympic Games?
I mean, not a bad outing if you ask me. At a point in the Olympics, everything looked so bleak. At a point, it looked like it was just another Olympic where we'll go to and just participate and come back, empty-handed. But I'm happy to say that at least in a day or in the space of 24 hours, Nigeria is finally on the medal table. Even though she missed out on the silver, but come on, the bronze is just as good enough, a lot of people participate in that event, who are nowhere. But she made the podium, so good one for her. And it calls for celebration from all sport-loving Nigerians.
Of course, Ese Brume actually won the bronze medal after she limped 6.97 meters in the women's long jump event. She came third behind German athlete and also United States athlete. The German athlete actually clinched the gold medal with 7.00 meters, while the silver medal actually went to the US athlete who actually claimed the same point with his improvement 6.97 meters. Dapo, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you repeat that question, please?
Okay, I said let's get your reaction looking at Ese Brume performance, winning the bronze medal for Nigeria.
Yeah, it was a very brilliant, performance. She was up for gold. She was up for gold until the final jump by Miyambo from Germany. If Miyambo had not actually jumped that 7.00, Ese Brume will have clinched the gold. At the point, it was just between her and the American athlete Greece. At the point after the third jump, when Greece jumped 6.97, the same thing with Ese Brume. From count back, she led, and at the next jump, Ese Brume took back the lead, and she was, in the gold medal, bracket until Miyambo took her final jump. That final jump actually ended everything. I was thinking oh, Nigeria will actually pick a gold in that event. But for that Miyambo's jump, it was a very long jump, so that actually spoiled it for us. But nothing to worry about, because we still got bronze, and that was the first one in Tokyo, and it's a very, very valuable one. We said we were optimistic. I told you yesterday, I'm optimistic. Ese Brume was going to pick a medal. I don't know the color. She was almost picking the gold. At the point, it became the silver before the final jump by German Miyambo to actually spoil that party. But the party was spoiled from being a gold medal party, but it was not ruined because we still actually picked a bronze medal. She is a great athlete, and the projection now is for her to go to Paris 2024 to go and win the gold, because she has actually won the gold at the Commonwealth Games. Now she has a bronze, just like Blessing Okagbare in the Olympics. Now the benchmark now is to go there and pick gold at Paris 2024. She is capable, but if you look at her age, she's 32 years old now. Come Paris 2024, she will be around 35. But age may not be too much on her side, look, considering the spate of young athletes being paraded by top sporting countries across the world now. But with experience, with dedication and discipline, she will actually attain that height. I see her, going for gold at the Paris 2024 Olympics.
Well, actually, seeing Ese Brume going for gold in Paris 2024. Looking at Team Nigeria's performance so far, you're a sport administrator, and looking at the level of preparation. Do you think everything is working the way it's supposed to be at this point in time in the ongoing Tokyo Olympic Games?
Well, so far so good, not good enough, but we have gotten some medals, and that's very important. I was going to comment on Ese Brume's performance too. She did very well, and I like to let you know that the difference between the ultimate winner 7.00 and 6.97 is just three centimeters. I mean, if you place 3 iPhones together, the thickness is just a difference. So she was there, but she didn't get it. We have had to see a lot of situations like this in sports, and so the bottom line is that she has all it takes, not just some. She has all it takes to be a champion. That's why she's a champion today, even with the bronze medal. Now, generally, this is a wake-up call to all sporting federations, to the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports, that we need to double up our efforts in ensuring that we have early preparation. Preparation for 2024 starts now. In fact, yesterday. So all hands should be on deck. Proper planning, proper participation in tournaments and programs to ensure that we get more of these medals the next time we show.
Many Nigerians will be asking that the game of tennis didn't actually participated in this year Olympic. What could be the possible reason?
Yeah, we're not near there. We're very blunt. We're not near there. We're not near participating in that zone now, because we don't have those players in that category that can compete at that top level, and that's why, as a federation, we are rebuilding from the bottom to be able to raise players that in future will be able to participate in this kind of tournaments, and very hopefully we'll get there.
Of course, very hopefully he will get there. But looking at the tennis competition in Tokyo, we saw that Naomi Osaka she was defeated in the third round. We saw major upset. Djokovic has won the Grand Slam for about 20 now. He was actually defeated in that particular game. So, how will you rate the performance of all the athletes so far in the Olympics? Which of these athletes do you think can actually win the gold medals?
Well, some of the medals have been concluded. Zverev beat Kachanov in the finals of the men's event. Djokovic, if I was Djokovic, I would not have taken part in the Olympics because what he has gone through in the past 1-2 months, the kind of tennis he played, the 5-set games, especially the one against Rafael Nadal at the Roland Garros in Paris, and then followed that up with playing the finals against Tsitsipas, all 5-setters, and then of course going to Wimbledon, finally winning after a lot of energetic game. I felt that he would have rested, but he still went on and he did his best. But of course, the players that rested more and had better energy were able to do better. So generally, Olympics is a different ball game. That you are a Grand Slam winner does not make you automatically win the gold. So that's what happened in the female ladies event too. You'll be surprised. The Swiss lady Bencic took the gold. And in the mixed doubles, the pair of Rublev beat another Russian pair, Karasev. So it was a well fought battle, but I think the East Europeans up to Russia, they did better in this tennis event this year, and well, all the same, it was a very good outing for tennis.
Alpha, you want to ask me a question?
So, like when we discussed earlier, this kind of performances, do we hope to, in future, hope that we'll see Nigeria participate in the tennis event in the
Future is a long time. Future is not tomorrow. Future, we are starting all over. I don't see us getting near an Olympic event, especially with homegrown players getting there in the next 20 years. I don't see, except we're able to build here and maybe export some of our players to continents where we have more facilities, more opportunities, and then the pick up from there. Yes, we might be able to. Because if you're from 15, 16, if you're not winning futures, winning ATP tournaments, you're not near where you should be. And to the best of my knowledge, we don't have any Nigerian player today in that cadre. But there are some players that are coming up both locally and internationally, and hopefully if we're able to put them together, we'll be able to grab a team just like we did in the last Billie Jean King Cup in Lithuania. That really did very well. We didn't get promoted, but they played their best, and it was very good.
Do we have the talent to produce the likes of the Serena Williams, like of Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, the like of those players? Do we have that talent in Nigeria? And if we have those talents, what does it take for we to get them to that position?
We have talents in Nigeria, tons of them in all sports, including tennis. Now, every coach or tennis expert or somebody that's knowledgeable in tennis, both both locally and internationally, that has visited us in the past 4 years to assess our players. There's one thing that is common in what they say. They say, number one, we have strength. That there's so much strength. They see that we are in weather that goes up to 40 degrees centigrade, sometimes 35 degrees centigrade, and you see people without shade come to the National Stadium in Abuja. They are playing, they are hitting the balls, and they do that for 2 hours, 3 hours. They all say that strength, which is a function of, which translates to stamina, is a big plus that we players or tennis players in Nigeria have. And that what, especially in the girls and female category, needs is strength. And then skill can be added by teaching from a proper coach at different levels and so on. So we have the people, we have the people, but we need them to be guided and to be taught properly in such a way that they can do very well. But there are a lot of things involved in this, and that's where we have these challenges, from facilities to food to education, to a lot that is attached to that development. It's not just take the racket, hit the ball, and you think there's a lot of mental part of tennis. I was opportune in 2019 to watch Roger Federer play Djokovic at the Wimbledon, and Federer had a match point, 2 match points actually, but the kind of, and he was serving, but you see the return that Djokovic returned a serve, a good serve from Federer at a match point. You will never believe that somebody that is down, will hit that kind of ball. It takes somebody with strong mental toughness to take that kind of return at that time. And he went on and won that Grand Slam, by the way. So mental toughness, physical strength, and so on are all put together to be able to produce that champion that we're all hoping to get soon. But we're doing all we can as a federation, but like I said earlier in an interview, it's all inclusive. It takes a village to develop a lady. One man, one parent cannot. People say Serena Williams and Venus is their father. No, there are a lot of people involved in their development, and that's why they were able to get to where they got to and where they still are now. So yeah, we try and we continue to do our best to see that champions are produced. But to let you know, in black and white, we have the people and talents that can, if properly harnessed and put together, can come out to become future champions and gold medalists in the Olympics.
Dapper, do you have a question for our guest today?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the gentleman that is actually speaking. I think he said he's a caretaker president of, is it president of the Tennis Federation?
Yes,
am I correct?
Caretaker chairman.
Yes, caretaker chairman. But we don't have chairman in Sports Federation any longer. It is when you have the Nigerian Tennis Association. That's when you have a chairman. But it has all, the nomenclature has changed years ago, and we have federation. When you have federation, you have president, not a chairman. I don't know why that one is like that.
We're chairman of caretaker committees for now.
Okay, okay, not the federation.
After the federation.
Is the federation.
After the federations for the first term expired, and the elections for the next one has not held because of these Olympics. Once they get back from the Olympics now, elections will hold maybe in September. So the Ministry of Youth and Sports, inaugurated chairman of caretaker committee.
Oh yes, okay, caretaker.
That was 3-member committee.
I get the point.
Yeah. That's why
I get your point.
In that capacity.
Yes, what I just want to say, I will need, as caretaker committee, you can also function as, the overall head of this sport. Because for me, I covered tennis. I will cover tennis up to the international level. Since 1995, I've been covering tennis, and I cover it very well. But what I saw that at the last election in 2017, it was the position for the president and other board positions were actually politicized, and that contributed to the near death of tennis in Nigeria. And it is regrettable. It is not, those who did that did not actually love the sport at all. This is Nigeria that used to do very well in the Davis Cup. From the A category, we moved to B to C, and it is not too good. The era we were thinking that at that election there was going to be a consolidation from what the past administrations or they did. At the point we had the president of the African Tennis Federation here in Nigeria. They're talking about engineer Hassan in Danusa. Development was coming here. We have players in Europe, we have players in America, the likes of Sule Ladipo, the likes of Adenekon. A lot of them, like even the female also, Clara Udofa was in America. They were playing good tennis, and at the point we were very close to qualification for the Olympics at the particular year, but just for a little slip. But tennis was thriving in Nigeria, and even in Lagos we have the Governor's Cup, which is an African challenge. It is the highest tennis competition in Nigeria, and it's an African challenge where we have players coming from all over the world. Players, coming and showing us class, And in Lagos, in Abuja, that is your base now. I don't see how tennis can actually develop in Abuja. You just spoke about the court at the stadium in Abuja. That is not a standard court. That's not a standard court where you can actually develop world-class players. We have a lot of clubs. What you should have actually done, or possibly is a form of advice, spread your tentacles to Lagos. Have some of your members in Lagos. You can it's a form of sacrifice to develop. Do that. A lot of clubs, top clubs in Lagos, where we see young players develop from there. Most of the great players that developed in Nigeria were ball boys. They were ball boys. Not the ones I've seen in Abuja. You just see them. Some of them. I don't want to describe anything about them. But development of tennis cannot happen in Abuja the way the facilities are there. You don't have the facilities there. Come to Lagos. The Lagos Country Club is there. The Railway Club is there. The lawn tennis club at Racecourse is there. These are places to play top tennis. These are places you see young players coming up to play, and there is also an academy. Though the academy only lost out when it actually delved into tennis. I'm talking about the academy being anchored by Gordon Kienka. Gordon Kienka is actually reputed to have produced a player like Clara Udofa, a world-class tennis player. So
at this point, we just have to go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, our guest will be telling us his message for Team Nigeria. Please don't go nowhere. welcome from that short break. You still Tokyo 2020 in 120 minutes right here on the Leadership Podcast. We have the chairman, caretaker committee of the Nigerian Tennis Federation. He's actually not here with us, but at this point in time, I gave you a few time for you to respond to that was a reaction and question, and also tell us your message for Team Nigeria at the ongoing Tokyo Olympic Games.
All right, Dapo, I'm actually very shocked at some of your comments, but I would take them that maybe you have not really followed deeply the happenings in tennis in the past 4 years. You touched a lot of areas, but let me try to pick as much as I can. I want to let you know that the notion that it's not possible to develop tennis in Abuja is completely wrong. The best tennis facility in Nigeria today is here in Abuja at the National Stadium. There are 20 tennis courts here. I don't know if you know that.
I know that. I covered the Olympic Games there. I was at the National Sports Festival. So everything I'm saying, I'm up about. It's my opinion anyway. It's my opinion.
And then there are 20 courts here. And then the same grade of tournament that you think is the highest class of tournament, the Lagos Open, which you call the Governor's Cup, is now called the Lagos Open. We have 3 of those tournaments happened in Abuja in the past 4 years. Every year, 3. Lagos is 1. We had 3. Tombin, Dayak, and GSL happens. And in fact, in 2019, 39 countries participated in each of those tournaments, and Nigerians were exposed to playing at that level. The same thing in the junior category. We have not had the junior edition of that tournament you are talking about. The tournament you are talking about is categorized as futures. Now they call it M25 or M.
It's tennis futures, yes.
Yes. Now, tennis futures is just the entry level into professional tennis. From there, you go to challengers and then ATP before you go to the Grand Slams.
No, so the Lagos Governor Cup has actually risen to be a challenger. It's an African challenger for a number of years now.
There's nothing like African challenger, sir. It is a futures. It is an ITF tournament. I ran it for the past 4 years.
That's in Abuja.
I ran tennis for 4 years, sir, in Nigeria, not in Abuja. I'm Abuja based as a person. I live in Abuja. I ran tennis for 4 years until June or May this year. So anything tennis, especially international, it ends on my table. So I can tell you, Lagos Open is futures for the 2 weeks, and it's 25,000. That's what it is. Nothing more. It's not an African tournament. It has never been. It is an ITF international tournament, and it's the entry level into professional tennis. That's what it is. And so I know it would have held last year, but for the COVID, this year it's not going to hold. Normally, it's supposed to hold in October. If you check the calendar, it's not there because I've spoken to the sponsors and they think they didn't plan early because of the COVID. We didn't know what was going to happen. In fact, tennis between last year and this year, the stadia were even closed, and until September, November last year, when we started coming back slowly, and we hosted the CBN tournament in Abuja, which is at the instance of the sponsors of the tournament, because I've heard comments like we moved CBN from Lagos to Abuja. The sponsors decided that. And of course, the capital of CBN, or the headquarters of CBN, is in Abuja. It's no longer in Lagos. You understand? So a lot of the things you said, I will find time to find out how I can correspond with you to explain in details. But we have upcoming players. the junior category. We have had junior champions in ITF tournaments in Abuja, in Nigeria. In fact, we would have held in Lagos 2 weeks of ITF junior, that's called J5, where all junior players under 18 participate. We are going to have another 2 weeks in November. We just finished one in June in Abuja, and in November we're having another 2. We participated in the Davis Cup. Yes, we have not progressed. The same thing in the Billie Jean King Cup, which we took part for the first time in the history of this country in Lithuania, sometimes about a month or thereabout ago, and we did well. So if you listen to my earlier interview, there is a general problem of loss of interest in the culture of tennis in Nigeria. And that is a fundamental problem of all sports, not just tennis. The facilities, the coaching, which we have tried to improve in the past 4 years, there's no year we have not held coaching education programs and certified coaches in Nigeria. The same thing with officiating. These records are very clear, and they are there. From less than 10, 15 officials, certified ITF officials in officiating, we have 120 or thereabout now within the past 4 years. We have our officials officiating in Olympics, officiating at Grand Slam events like the Australian Opens last year. Aisha, a tennis umpire, was there. These things never happened. We had, in a long time, we had officials going to officiate in Davis Cup. In fact, we were at the verge last year of having our officials participating in the Wimbledon, although we have one that took part and, in fact, climbed the chair at the last Wimbledon. The guy from Enugu, Anambra State. I can't remember his name now. He's a Nigerian. So a lot has happened that you might not have properly followed, because obviously from the way you have spoken, you are a Lagos man. Anything that does not happen in Lagos is not.
At this point in time, the Olympics is still ongoing, and Team Nigeria also be participating in other sports, wrestling, athletics. Also, we are still getting. What will be your message for the athletes and for the officials?
Okay, yeah, we like I said earlier, we have tried. But it's a wake-up call. I'm very happy the Honorable Minister of Sports was there physically. He was almost at all the venues, seeing these things. It's a different ball game when you watch these things live. When you see the interest that your players put, and even with all those interests and efforts, they still don't get that. Because if you look at the basketball team, the two teams, the male and the female team, they had all it takes to beat every team that they played. They had all it takes from it's just those small touches that requires proper attention from specialists in mental ability. Some people will throw when they are not supposed to throw. Some people want to take unnecessary risk, and so many decisions that were not right. If it is physical, if it is skill, if it is knowledge, we had all, especially in basketball. And of course, I did okay. I saw him already with the gold until he had the muscle pull or hamstring. So I think it's just about consolidation and creation of a new team, especially the upcoming team, to take over, because age is it's a major factor. A couple of the Okabari has been on the field for a while. We need to have people help us take over from them. And
do you see Nigeria winning more with us?
I'm hopeful. Of
course. Izuku, at this point, I want to thank you. Thank you for coming on today's show. It has been nice, talking with the chairman, caretaker committee of the Nigerian Tennis Federation, the person of Ifedayo Akindoju. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Of course, Wale joined us all the way from London, UK. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I've got my the closest to green today.
Of course.
So obviously, obviously very happy.
A quick commercial short break. And when we come back, we'll get all your reaction. Don't go nowhere, please.
Thank you.
Welcome from that short break. You still Tokyo 2020 in 120 minutes right here on the Leadership Podcast Studio. Also, Jonathan, join us on the show. It's good to have you today.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Looking at Team Nigeria performance so far, we've won bronze, we've won silver. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's a nice one. After reading from the Book of Lamentations for the past few days, at least some cherry news at last. Soccer for Team Nigeria.
Soccer for Team Nigeria. Well, let's get a reaction. Ese Brume, she actually came third in that particular event, bronze medal. We all actually was hoping that she was going to win a gold medal, but at this point in time, any color of a medal is a medal. Thank God it is not zinc at this point in time, that I used to say.
No. Thank God it's not zinc. Thank God it's bronze. Yeah, I know we've always raved about Ese. We had thought she was going to go for she was going to get the gold because she was going for the gold. But unfortunately, that did not happen. But I tell you what, she was spectacular the way she was. I know Vivian yesterday mentioned that the German girl Muhiambo would be the one to beat. It's just unfortunate that Ese had a couple of no jumps, foul jumps. Otherwise, she will have just gone home with that gold medal. But I haven't said that. the first gold medal. Sorry, the first medal of this year's tournament. It's good. Coming 25 years after Madam Chioma Ajunwa. So for us to get another medal in the long jump, it says a lot about Nigerian prowess in that sport itself. So congratulations to Nigerians, and also I know Blessing also was a blessing to Nigeria, winning silver, and I know we are going to talk more about that. But Ese, well done. Well, good luck in the future.
Of course, good luck in the future. Ese Brume is Nigeria's sole representative in the jumps event since the disqualification of Ruth Ozoro by the Athletics Integrity Unit. So we wish her all the best. We hope that in 2024 she can actually get to pick up the gold medal in the Olympic Games. But next up will be the Commonwealth Games. Will be hosted in UK, talking about
Birmingham.
Well, I hope you are going to ensure that Ese Brume gets to win the gold medal in the Commonwealth Games.
I'll be there in live, supporting her, rooting for her. Today I saw the coach, Kayode Yaya, obviously cheering Nigerian out. So I'm sure I'll be behind her. I'll be shouting, Ese, come on, go for goal this time. So yeah, definitely. Hopefully, we'll be there also with leadership and making sure we dominate the Commonwealth, and we'll have learned quite a lot from what's going on at the moment, and we go to Birmingham and make it a clean sweep. So what happened when we saw the Jamaicans winning 1-2-3? We want to do that definitely at the Commonwealth Games.
Of course, Ese Brume also dedicated the bronze medal to Pastor David Oyedeko, and also the 10th ineligible athlete that didn't compete in the ongoing 20 Olympic Games. I think that's actually commendable for Ese Brume.
Commendable.
Of course, we go to our next story. We're talking about another Nigerian who won a medal earlier today, talking about Blessing Oborududu in a final against the US athlete, talking about Stock Mensa, even though she actually she had an injury on her leg, but at the end of the day, she still went home with the silver medal. What do you make up of Blessing's performance right from the round of 16 to the quarterfinal to the semi-final, also to the final? She actually lost at that match 4-1.
Yeah, well, she lost, but I mean, she still made it, was able to clinch a silver medal. And it's worthy to know that this will be Nigeria's first medal in, wrestling in the Olympics. I mean, so it's the first one. It's not a little feat. She's done the nation proud. Yes, she missed out on the gold, but I mean, silver is just good enough. Like I said when we, began. Initially at the point, the Olympics was looking like this might be one of our worst Olympic Games ever. But I like how the sudden turnaround of events. How it's going so far. Not like in Rio when we only had a bronze medal. Just in football. Yeah, fine. We all lamented the absence of football in this year's Olympic. Football is always like a sure banker when it comes to medal, but we felt initially that since we didn't even have football this time around, how are we going to even see what the medal looks like, especially with everything that has happened in the last couple of weeks, but in about 24 hours, Nigeria is finally on the medal table, not just one but two medals, and the way it's looking, we might add maybe like 2 or 3 more. So fantastic one for Blessing. And though it was unfortunate that her compatriots, I mean, that crashed out, but she has made up for that. And I watched the celebrations when she won the medal, and we could see the excitement even in the camp. That finally Nigeria will at least be listed when the list of a medalist are being reeled out. So that's a nice one. Way to go.
With the achievement of Blessing Oborududu, will this spark up the development of wrestling in Nigeria?
Most definitely. Even before now, without this achievement by Blessing Oborududu, wrestling is already developed in Nigeria, thanks to the magnanimity and the commitment of Daniel Gali. So he's doing a lot of things, and already there's a wrestling gym in Bayelsa in Yenegua. You've spoken about it a number of days that I listened to you. But I've been there. If you have been there physically, you know what I'm talking about. This man single-handedly built this facility, a fantastic edifice, just for wrestling. Just for wrestling. The athletes that come there, they wake up. The first thing they see when they get out of their room, they see the wrestling mats. So it's so wonderful. Just like what we saw, far back in 2003 in Cuba, that we came back to give the National Sport Commission a template for an elite center for top Nigerian athletes. But it was not followed anyway. So, but with what wrestling is doing and with what they've done before, it is developmental. They've been doing it stage by stage, stages one after the other, just to make sure they get to this level. It is not just today. We started far back 2012. The development has just been there. The concentration has just been there. Let us keep trying. Let us keep trying. They tried, they failed, but they were not discouraged. Even the man Khaled has been spending his hard-earned money, he was not discouraged. Even when nothing was actually coming from the Nigerian government, he kept doing it. There are instances that there are some international tournament that will have given us enough points to qualify long before now, or long before the edition of any major championship. Or they won't be able to attend because of funds. There has been shortfall before. There has been so much discouragement, but Igali kept going. Even when you expect them to win, and there was a little slip, the encouragement will continue to be there. You will see them going back to training. So it's not today. What they are doing, what Igali has actually brought to Nigeria, just like I said a few days ago, it should be given a national award. So this kind of thing, help develop. It helps encourage whoever is doing what they are doing. So wrestling now, very well, and at the same time, where is this? Being domiciled, I'm talking about Bayelsa, the base of Daniel Gali. They have the comparative advantage to wrestle well, and that was why the whole thing moved there. Even from the Niger Delta, I hope at the point in time, Ondo was actually categorized as one of the best, areas for wrestling. So Niger Delta, the concentration is there. They have the build, they have the physicality, they have the skill. So naturally, they have traditional wrestling. They do, within themselves, within the locality. So when you discover talents from here and you brush them up to international standard, the sky will continue to be the stepping stone for Nigerian wrestling. So kudos to Daniel Gali. Kudos to Oborududu has actually, given us a silver medal. More medals are coming from there. Just a little slip from Aminat Adeniyi. She didn't actually move forward in her event, but that is just by the way. She will keep trying. Oduayo, she's coming. 2 different events that will surely give us 2 different medals. The men are also there. They are capable. They've tested the waters. They've been tried in even the highest point of international competition, the World Championships, in the Commonwealth Games. So this one, it's just the same kind of opposition. So it's not different. They are used to the terrain. So now it's now time for perfection. Go there and pick the medal. So congratulations to Oborududu for picking an Olympic medal. It has always been a limitations at the Commonwealth Games. The African Games, we sweep almost everything. But at the Olympic Games, this is a landmark achievement for wrestling, and it will actually show on the development of the sport in Nigeria. A big thank you to Daniel Gali.
course, a big thank you for Daniel Gali. That is, coming from Dakar at this point in time. Another Nigerian in the wrestling event, although she lost her, a semi-final match on the match. Talking about Aminat Adeniyi, she lost 10-0 on technical superiority in that particular match. So at this point in time, she's expected, to fight for a place for the bronze. Bronze Ameda's a match. Hopefully, we should get her, get her to actually, be in our top form, so that she can actually, get to win the bronze medal. But at this point in time, is it that she was actually overwhelmed with the victory of Oborududu in semi-final? And actually made that she lost her semi-final match. Jonathan.
Well, this victory has overshadowed her. So no problem.
Of course, no problem. Going forward, what should the wrestling team do for them to win medals?
Well, I think, like Dr. correctly said, Danigali has invested a lot, put his time to train. So I think a lot of maybe more coaches and more investment. Imagine if one person can, with this kind of investment, can come up with this kind of achievement. Imagine if we have like 4 or 5 Danigalis investing in wrestling. You can imagine what will come out of it. So I think if more people should take to the sport, put in more interest in the sport, then we should be expecting this. Even better performances like this from future competitions.
Of course, Wale, your last comment from the wrestling team on in the ongoing Tokyo Olympic Games before we move straight to athletics.
I think we just need to probably get more training for our coaches. If we saw the game Blessing against the Mensa, it was a very tactical game, very technical game. So the United States girl, the Olympic champion, did all she could technically, even though she was a bit injured on the leg. She was able to show the better techniques to earn all the points in the first round before second round, where she just consolidated and managed it. So that's just about it. We've got the people that can take us far in wrestling. With this what has happened to Blessing, it's a blessing in its entirety, and it's just going to open everyone's eyes to what Daniel Igali has been doing. I mean, we've always been very fought with what Daniel is doing. I mean, he's been doing magnificently well with regards to wrestling in Nigeria. I think we can only go forward. Don't forget again that Oduduru is still around the corner. She's a poster girl of Nigerian wrestling, so she's going to give it a go. Oduduru, I'm thinking tipping already for a gold. So it's a good sign. It's a good sign that we are beginning to dominate world wrestling. I mean, there's no way you're going to mention world wrestling now without talking about Nigeria, at least as far as the female side is concerned, which is a good thing. So we just need to consolidate on that and see how it goes.
Of course, Vivian join us all the way from Sheffield, UK. Vivian, how are you doing today? Are you in celebration mood? Are you celebrating already?
Yeah, I'm very happy the Nigeria won the 2 medals.
Of course, Johnson,
again, this goes to show that we need to invest more in our sports so that we can be able to compete in other sports, boost our chances of winning more gold medals. Sports like swimming, equestrian sports, cycling, you understand, we need to compete in more sports.
Of course, we need to invest in our sports so that we can win more medals in the Olympic Games. That is actually coming from Jonathan at this point in time. But we'll go for another short commercial break. When we'll come back, we head straight to athletics and news coming in from athletics at this point in time. But don't go nowhere. Stay with us.
that test, like I said, was properly done. Completely well guided. We all did the best we could. Nobody's perfect. A few things definitely will fall through the cracks. But trust me, the test was done properly. Everybody that came to the trials was tested. Everybody that came to the trial was tested. Only 2 people, the thrower, Annette, and Chidi, didn't get a test. But when they finally got it, it didn't meet the time that they're supposed to have gotten it for it to count. And the other few, majority who are student athletes, they did it, but they did it in a laboratory that was not WADA certified. You see, that's where a lot of people that are not in the whole thing got it wrong. It's not that they didn't get tested. They did get tested, but the timing was off. That's all. But the minister has said, and he has put in place someone that is going to take charge of this, because he has sworn that nobody will fall into this situation again so long as he's the minister. And he's going to put that will in motion. He has already put it in motion, actually. The members have been named. From here on, no tree test, no trials.
No free test, no trial. And that's actually coming from Mary Onyale, who is actually the special advisor to the Minister of Youth and Sport Development, talking about Sunday Diary. Dapo, what do you make of that video from what Mary Onyale is saying about the disqualified 10 Nigerian athlete?
Well, she's just, for me, for those who know me very well, I'm always very, very candid. She is just making up, excuses. I will tell you the way it is. I will tell you the way it is. She's just making up excuses. Now you have just appointed Dr. Ken Anugweje as the person in charge, the doctor in charge of the medical commission. Dr. Anugweje has been in athletics in the last 25 years. What was he doing? What were they actually looking at? That all these things were not actually taken care of. The last preparation for the Rio Olympics, everything was done in the University of Port Harcourt, where Dr. Ken Anugweje is based. So he knows all these things. And I want to tell you categorically, at the point Nigeria had issues with banned substances, that was why we were moved from the category D to A. It was discovered at the point that there's somebody, we don't know if he was actually contracted by someone in the federation that comes into the Nigerian camp to administer banned substances to our athletes. It is the fact. It was discovered. By tomorrow, I will get his name for you. If possible, I will get his photograph and post on our platform for Tokyo 2020. This is the fact. There are situations whereby athletes in athletics, after competing, they run away from dope tests. Some of these officials cover them up. They provide a cover for them. Sometimes I've seen instances where a sprinter, after sprinting, instead of stopping at the finish line, he will continue running until he gets a refuge somewhere. I've seen some who, after races, they will change into judo gis, uniform for judokas, so that the dope masters don't come to them to say, okay, you are going to be tested. It's the whole situation is in a mess. But I pray that all these things are actually rectified. At the point, yesterday I said that one of the athletes competing in Tokyo now, one of the athletes, the female athlete, was actually enmeshed in one of the bad substances. Though she has actually served her suspension, she's back now. She is doing very well, very, very well. So all this one, is actually talking about is what we call medicine after death. We got it wrong. The federation, the sports ministry were enmeshed in power tussle. Now we are talking about this now. We are just talking about the disqualification. The second round of the battle is coming when we come back. The one on the Puma
kits,
kits.
the Puma kits,
Puma
yes.
kits, yes. On the Puma kits. $2.4 million has been paid to Nigeria to use those kits. Fantastic world-class kits that will even aid athlete performances. You know, when you're properly dressed, you get the boost to perform well in your event. We have all this. But I'm surprised what is actually happening there. So the second round of battle will start when we get back home. They are saying, the funds were actually paid into the private account of a consultant. But the Athletics Federation confirmed these consultants. They approved the consultant to take charge of these dealings. Why won't they be scared to put money in the coffers of the Athletics Federation when you have a civil servant? When you have a civil servant at the Secretary General, it is not done all over the world. It is not acceptable. The Federation must, as a point of duty, appoint their own Secretary General independently. That is what the international rule says. Independently, it must be answerable to the Federation Board, not to the Sport Ministry. You know, so why do you want them to believe and actually leave a large sum of money like that in the Federation account? The one left there before, what happened to it? From the 15 that turned to 150, what happened to it? It was a mess. But please, Onyali should please do her bits. She is a special advisor to the sport minister, and good enough, she was an athlete. This should be athletics should be the champion when it is international sport, because the person who is the SA to the sport minister is a former athlete. So she should be pushing up their issues. They should be on top. They should be top priority aside from any other thing. So Onyali should get her act right. Get it right. She's experienced. She's a world-class athlete, and she knows that you must, as a point of necessity, ensure your athletes are tested 3 times, 10 months to a major game. And you know that. What excuse are they giving? The only cover now is that these other athletes who are performing now, they should keep performing, they should keep winning medals. So that, you know, Nigerians are easy to forgive, they forgive easily. By the time they start winning, start seeing the medals, they will forget every other thing. So, but please, AFN, Athletics Federation, the Sport Ministry, and also the Nigerian Olympic Committee, you get their acts right. Somebody was saying the other time that the Sport Ministry, the caretaker chairman of the Tennis Federation, was saying that the Sport Ministry to provide funds, they should make sure they do everything right for these federations to thrive well. But if you check the regulation, if you check the national, international, regulations, sport is supposed to be under the Nigerian Olympic Committee, but in Nigeria it is upside down. The Sport Ministry is supposed to be policy formulators. You know, when it is issue for funds, they are the ones appointed by government to actually liaise with the Accountant General to release funds for Nigeria. The Nigeria participation, it is Nigeria that is not participating, not individuals. So they are not supposed to be in charge of sport. It is the Nigerian Olympic Committee. But in Nigeria, things are done upside down. And I'm very surprised that things are happening like that. And again, preparation for 2024 should start now. We know what will happen when the athlete comes back. The first thing they will do, they will first disperse everybody home, and they will say, please go and continue training in your state of residence, where they don't have facilities that is befitting of international competition. So these athletes, they will have wasted almost 3 years. It is even 3 years to the next. They will have wasted 2.5 years. Then they'll start running helter-skelter to get these athletes in shape. So it will not work. We've said it over and over. It's like a national anthem that we sing all over and over again immediately after the Olympic Games. The same thing is still going to happen, except there's a miracle.
Wale, let's get your reaction.
I think that was probably spoken my mind, to be honest. But the only addition would be, I mentioned when the issue of AIU came out, when they banned the Nigerian athletes. I said one sure thing is going to happen, and that will be a damage control by the sports ministry, and that is basically what is going on. The question I would have loved to ask Mary Oyali would be if she knew those athletes were tested and the ones in the colleges and the universities were tested in a laboratory, not according to her now, not accredited by WADA. Why did they do something about it?
Yeah.
Did they was she in the know before the Olympics started, before the list was written? Did AFN know about a non-accredited laboratory where these boys and girls went to test themselves? Did they make any representations to WADA or AIU to let them know this is the case? So all these things, these are the questions, all this coming out. Yeah, we have this doctor, we have this board, we have this. This is just, it's just a normal thing. It's just for us to die. It's just for us to not take our eyes off the ball. Yeah, we're doing something about it. We've heard that before countless times. So I don't think we should be. I am optimistic. I am hopeful that things can work well in Nigeria. But the issue is, you guys made a mess up. Come out clean, and say to Nigerians, we are sorry we made this mess. But this is what we are doing to mitigate, falling into this trap again. Don't come out and start trying to blame athletes. So what is she trying to say? That the athletes now went to a laboratory that was accredited? That's like shifting the blames back on these boys and girls. And that is not what we want. That is not how to get to the solution of these problems that's besieging us. No, those athletes now will listen to this and I'll be like, oh, so this is what is happening. Now tell me why these people want to run again for Nigeria, or throw again from Nigeria, or play for Nigeria again. We can't say, yeah, we've got talents all over the world. I saw a TikTok clip about Chukwuebuka today. After shot put was washing the only kit he's got, because he's going to prepare for final tomorrow. That's a shame. Imagine the number of people that will have seen that today. On the day we're celebrating that Nigeria is finally on the medals table, and they're saying that. And these are children, these are boys and girls that they are not used to things like that. What is a kit, for God's sake? What is a kit that you will only just give them one? In other climes, they will give dozens. You use one today, you use another one tomorrow. For some people, because they are superstitious, they might say, okay, I want to use the same one because I won using this one, so let me wash it. And that's the side issue. But why would you? So why would all these children now want to say, I want to run? I was talking to Sheyi Fashuba, the former African record holder, the other time, and I was asking Sheyi, would you like your children to run for Nigeria? The answer was very straightforward. Would you? And I laughed that day. He said, why? I said, I'm going to give them a choice, and I'm going to lay everything on the table for them, all the cards on the table. Would you like to run, jump, play for where everything works well, or where things don't work? Then I'll tell them, make a decision. That's a shame. That's a shame. We shouldn't. I mean, our children, by the fact that some of us are in diaspora, we should be able to push them to say, yeah, go play for Nigeria, go do this. But when things like this are happening, and Mary, for God's sake, she's been there. She was an Olympian. She was an elite athlete. She's passed through all this before, I am sure. And she's there now. She wants to deflect attention from the minister because she's an essay to minister. I know we know that you're an essay to minister. Obviously, if I was, I don't know. We're all different, We're all different, and that's probably why I can never be an essay to any minister, because I'll tell you the truth. If my job goes, fine, let it go. So until we start being truthful to ourselves, we need to be truthful. Don't play the blame game. Don't. Especially when it concerns all these boys and girls. It's not fair. Come out, tell the world, tell Nigerians, we are sorry. All right, what we did was wrong. Okay, and please, this is what we are doing to mitigate, us falling into this mess again, and that's it. And then if anybody wants to talk next time, then if people like me that have got big mouth or Dapo, wants to talk, they will now say, shut up now. They've already said sorry now. That's okay now. Then we move on. But when you start deflecting, we won't stop. We'll keep on talking until someone comes out to say, yeah, we're sorry. Okay, Dapo, we've heard you. Wale, we've heard you. We are sorry. Okay, but this is what we are doing. So that's what I've got to say at this time regarding that.
Of course, we're still talking about athletics, where Chukwu Ebuka has actually qualified for the finals event of shot put at the ongoing 2020 Olympic Games. He ranked 7 after launching his implement of a mark of 16 meters on the men's shot put qualification. The Nigerians secured a non-automatic qualification spot for the final after clinching 4th position in Group B. Vivian, looking at Chukwu Ebuka's performance, he actually ranked 7 overall in that particular event. Can we put our hope that we have another medal in the bag for Nigeria?
I think he needs to perform better than what he did during his qualification, because the way that he was qualified was through non-automatic qualification. So he wasn't one of the best to actually qualify. So I think I wish him all the best for his next play. And again, the United States are the current holders. So we'll have to see how that's going to play out.
Of course, Chukwu Ebuka is US-based athlete. That's where he gets to train and also get to do a whole lot of stuff. And we know that the US citizen is the one holding the Olympic gold medal at this point in time. Do you see him getting to reach that feat?
Yeah, I think so. He has done well by qualifying for the final, even though it was by maybe a stroke of luck. He had a slim chance and eventually made it to the final. He actually came 7th, so so he wasn't like an automatic qualification, but good enough he made it to the final. So now that he's in the final, I mean, I only hope that he can do better, because if he puts up that kind of performance again in before he qualified, I mean, the chances of him getting a medal, won't even be there. He won't even win a medal. So I think he needs to do better. So, but we'll keep rooting for him. Like we always say, we'll always root for our athletes. So I expect him to do better.
Just looking at his physique, his body, I'm very, very sure he can. I don't want to say what I want to say, but what do you have to do?
But in the final, anything can happen in the final. Let's just hope he improves on his last performance. Anything can happen.
Of course, that, but I've seen the situation of best losers going up to win the title in several competitions. Sure. Are you actually rooting for Chukwu Ebuka at this point in time?
I will be happy if he's actually, if he does well in the next event. He has actually tried. He's also a dedicated, Nigerian in diaspora. He made it very clear that he try his best, make sure he takes Nigeria's name to the world map of sports, and we are seeing something dedicated in his performance right there in Rio. But sometimes you may plan for one thing and something else may want to hinder you. But you should not be discouraged. You should not be discouraged. You're still there. When the best losers line is actually choosing. Even when you get there, we've seen situation whereby the seemingly worst athletes in the qualifiers come at the end of the day to win a major title. We've seen it before. It's not the end. We are still going to see a lot more about that. So mine is I wanted to be encouraged and also buckle up. where he had one or two, shortfalls. He should leave that, concentrate on performing better than what he did before. So mine is that he should be hopeful. He should be more. He should be more, dedicated and focused on the event. Sharply, the event is not easy at all. It's not easy at all. It's something that needs you to be more physical, to be more calculating also. So it's a difficult sport to do, and he's there. That is the sport he chose to do. So let him continue, but he should be optimistic that keeping a focus on achieving something. He said it before he came that his focus is to come and do something good for Nigeria, and he's determined also. So if the chance comes, as it is coming already, he should grab it with his two hands and continue to forge ahead.
Of course, he should grab the chance with his two hands and continue to forge ahead. But for now, we'll go for another short commercial break, and when we'll come back, Divine Oduduru is in the news today. But for now, we'll go for this short break. Don't go nowhere. Welcome from that short commercial break. Is still Tokyo 2020 in 120 minutes right here on the Leadership Podcast studio. Earlier today, we saw our own man talking about Divine Oduduru. We actually expected him to, win and qualify to the final of the 200 meters event, but so sad that he actually finished with a time of 20.16 seconds behind the American Kingston, who finished first in 20.02, while a Jamaican, Rashid finished 20.13, who finished second in that particular group. But he couldn't qualify because his timing was not among the top best in the other heat of the semi-final event. So it means that Divine Oduduru quest of winning a medal at the ongoing Tokyo Olympic Games at this point in time is dead. Nothing can happen. He cannot win any medal at the ongoing Tokyo Olympic Games. So sad. We saw that he actually was sent off in the 100 meters event, and now 200 meters event.
We actually thought, after that sending off, he was going to, pick himself back up and, learn from that and do better. But unfortunately, it wasn't the case. He completely fell short. Finishing in, I think it was, I can't remember now. Seconds he came in, but about the 17-year-old guy, I'll class him with about over, exactly, yeah, 2 point. He finished 2 points exactly. 2.16 seconds, 20.16 rather. And the Jamaican, 20.30. So he was way, way, way off the pace. So I really thought that he was going to learn from that disqualification. Since he didn't even run, she should have even have some more energy, in his tank to compete better for this one. But it wasn't the case. Another chance of a medal gone. But no problem. We look forward to other people who are still medal prospects and see how we can, ramp up our medals.
Vivian, before the start of the Tokyo Olympic Games, we are actually hoping that the very Oduduru will be among the athletes that will deliver medals for Nigeria. But at this point in time, what do you actually think went on? Could it be the fact that his disqualification in the 100 meters event was the reason why he didn't actually make it to the finals?
No, I don't think that could be one of the reasons, because when coming back for the 200 meters, I'm sure he would have said to himself that he has to do better than what he did in the 100 meters. So I think it could be based on training. It could be based on the other athletes being simply more faster than he is. So I think he can only look forward to 2024 and come back stronger.
Wale, what should Divine Oduduru do at this point in time going forward?
What can he? I think he needs to just concentrate on what he is good at. That is just doing the 200 meters, because I think he started as a 200 meters person. I think he just concentrate more on that and probably just leave the 100 meters and it's always very hard to retrain people at that age. And we're talking about a 17-year-old Kingston that is up and coming. That boy is going to be the next Usain Bolt. He's going to win everything winnable in the next 2-3 years. So he's still young. I'm talking about Kingston now, 17. Oduduru is no longer that young, although he's still in his prime. But it's so hard for you to now, at that age now, redesign the kind of training you want to train, But having said that, I think it just needs to just concentrate on the 200 meters going forward, and maybe get a coach that can probably tweak one or two things. And don't forget that it was actually coming out from some injuries, not too great season. To be honest with you, I didn't expect much. I didn't expect he was going to, go ahead and win a medal. I was expecting he could make it out of this event, the 200 meters, but not really expecting him to win any medal, because the people he was running against, or he would have run against in the final, are obviously way out of his league at the moment at the SA. So, but he still got a few, in his tank. If he just concentrate on 200 meters, get probably a better coach, and just work on fine tuning. We've seen people older than him win medals in 200 meters. A woman, Shelley-Ann Fraser Price, after being a mother, still ran the 100 meters like she was 16. So for a man, I think there's still something in there for Divine. I think he needs to find out what that thing is himself, and then work on it. But it's one of the things I'm really very happy about concerning Nigeria and this Olympics is the fact that the women are actually dictating the pace. I'm really excited about that. Of course, the men folk, we're taking a back seat this time, and the women are actually doing what we can't do. And I think it's a major plus for women in sports in Nigeria. People will now tend to look and see that, where the men are failing, the women are actually helping us out. And it's a very big plus. So kudos to the women. for Divine. Let's see what he does at if he qualifies, if he makes it to the Commonwealth Games. Let's see, and then we can probably make a better judgment.
That point yesterday, we were actually confident that Divine Oduduru will actually get to win something for Nigeria. But at this point in time, that didn't happen. Let's get your thought on that.
I projected because look, I'm hearing you.
Okay.
I'm hearing you. So I said, incidentally, it didn't just happen the way we projected. I was optimistic that Divine Oduduru was going to, do something positive, yesterday. But at the same time, now when I saw him, performed in those races, I find out that his psyche I've actually been dented after that, disqualification in the 100 meters. Going into Rio, going into Tokyo 2020, aside from the team captain Aruna Quadri and Blessing Okagbari, the next major, first class athlete in that Nigerian team is Divine Oduduru. So a lot of expectations on his shoulders, even as a professional, as a world-class athlete. He knew he went to Tokyo with so much optimism and so much promises, going by his current form. But after that disqualification, I'm sure the whole thing was actually dented. That thing actually affected him. That was what I saw because I've been following his progress over time. Is easily affected by little things that affect the mind. A lot of times, a lot of occasions when he runs and he does not actually get his expected position, and the competition is still on, they get people to talk to him. But I'm not sure there's a psychologist in this team, because we've gone to more than 3 editions of the Olympics without psychologists, and we have qualified psychologists. They will keep them back. They will keep them back in Nigeria and take one official that is not a psychologist and write his or her name in the place of a psychologist, just in the name of ensuring that these people travel. But it is counterproductive to Nigeria. It is not helping us. If we have seen a psychologist, actually, sit Oduduru down, talk to him, get his psyche back into place, especially also when the issue of that 100 meters disqualification was actually raised. At the end of the day, before his 200 meters, performance again, it came to the fore that disqualification should have been appealed, and we would have actually run in that 100 meters. So all these are psychological things. So I can actually compete after that initial disqualification. At the end of the after investigation, it happened in this Tokyo. After a disqualification of athlete, he protested, competed, and at the end of the day, qualified for the next round. Even yesterday, in the 200 meters in the heat, there was a particular athlete, that was disqualified for 4 starts. He ran under protest, and it happened in the 4th heat. He came back. They brought it back in the 7, and he ran the time. He ran the time that he actually, qualified. He was in top 3 for that. Yesterday, I'm talking about yesterday, not 3-4 days ago. So psychologically, the whole thing was not right for Divine Oduduru, and I'm sure that was what actually affected him. He was not injured. Top class athlete, aside from Aruna Quadri, Blessing Okagbari. The next in line, is Divine Oduduru. So he was disappointed. He was not able to get out of that shell, and that was what we were even talking about yesterday, about Oduduru that won, that actually gave us a silver medal without competing, without grabbing, without having that silver medal on her neck. Though we know it's short, but she could actually still compete for the gold medal. But we were content with that silver. And and we want that, please, celebration should stop. These people should concentrate on their next, fight and all those stuff. Don't celebrate. Celebration will come after the entire games. You can put everything together, but your psychology must be apt. It must be intact. If you over celebrate, you lose concentration. And that was what happened. So Oduduru, not the best of performance after the 100 meters disqualification, which he was actually lectured after them. But I think he should have known that. He's a world-class athlete. He's based in America. He has competed even at the highest level in the US. He has been to the World Championship several times. He should know that things like that can actually be appealed, and you can still run. So when you run, one way or the other, you will have actually achieved something that you set another African record or national record. It will be recorded. It will be recorded. At least we are running under protest. So all this actually affected, I believe so, affected, but it is over now, but it's not yet over. So we can still bounce back. So somebody was talking about his age. Age is not on his side. He has been there for a long time. He has been there for a long time. He has been running. Look at wear and tear. If you buy a car, a 2012, edition of a car, it cannot be the same thing in 2021 and not even the same thing in 2024. So the diminishing return will be there, but he should keep trying. Ensure he picks the valuable medal that he has been gunning for in his career. So good luck to Divine Oduduru.
Good luck to Divine Oduduru in his future endeavor. That's coming from Dakwa at this point in time. There's a news here that the athlete that we want to hear, but many are saying it's coming at a very late hour, but it's never late and never. Where the federal government has promised in Nigeria 7.57 million for a gold medal in the ongoing 2020 Olympic Games, according to the press statement, which was signed by the director of FEED, director of Federation and Elite Athlete Department. Talking about FEED, Dr. Simon Ebujaye. He actually said that the federal government has increased the prize money for gold winner from $5,000 to $15,000, and also he said about the silver and bronze medal, we actually smile home with $10,000. At this point in time, according to him, gold medalists will not be rewarded with 15,000, while silver and bronze medal will win each 10,000 and X. Okay, respectively, the earlier award was 5,000 for gold, 3,000 for silver, 2,000 for bronze medal. And at this point in time, Blessing Oborududu and talking about Ese Brume, they have won silver and bronze medal respectively. Vivian, okay, before I go to Vivian, Jonathan, looking at this prize money, don't you think it's small compared to other countries like I have, according to National Olympic Committees, that the winner for gold medal for Singapore will actually go with $737,000.
737.
Yes.
Compared to our 15,000.
The likes of Italy, $213,000, Philippines, $200,000, Hungary, $180,000, Brazil, $49,000, Japan, $45,000, US, $37,500, South Africa, $37,000, Canada, $16,000, Australia, $15,000 at this point in time.
And again, it's coming too late. How many games do we have left?
We just have some events in athletics and wrestling and the carrying sport.
I think it's coming too late, and the money is too small. In fact, personally, I think they should give that $15,000 to Blessing for winning us our first medal in wrestling.
Like Jonathan said, I usually have a problem with these kinds of rewards coming in the middle of a competition.
At the tail end,
why not make this
5 days to go?
Exactly, why not make these promises before they even left Nigeria or while they were in camp?
Yes.
It would have even served as a form of better motivation. Not when they started winning things, then you just wake up in the middle of nowhere and say you're upgrading their money, or if you have just been kept quiet when they come back, maybe when you're hosting them to a dinner or something, wherever you choose to host them, and you make this announcement as against, coming out in the middle. This could even, anyway, thankfully enough, the games are gradually coming to an end. This could even cause some, it could destabilize even the camp itself. Which other countries that in the Olympics you see that in the middle of the competition will come out and just we are giving so amount. So the way we do things sometimes in this country, it really baffles me. But it's a good gesture, but when you do something good in not so right way, a lot of questions will be asked. Making this kind of announcement in the middle of a competition, for me, it really doesn't make any sense. But anyway, good gesture. So, but I think next time it's better to, make this kind of thing before they even leave, to serve as some sort of motivation.
But before I go to Vivian, Wale, and Dapo on these, we'll go for our last commercial short break, and when we come back, we still have a whole lot to talk about, looking at Team Nigeria's event for tomorrow, and we'll also be looking at the medal table and the football event result. Don't go nowhere. Welcome from that short break. Vivian, we are actually talking about the prize money for Team Nigeria that the federal government has released earlier today. What do you make of that particular press statement from the Sports Ministry?
Well, it looks like they've only increased the money only because we now have 2 medals. At the end of the day, the damage has been done. They should be focusing on how they've lost the dreams of 10 other athletes that were not able to compete at all. So I feel like it is really important that we just focus on what's important right now and stopping the dreams of actual athletes that want to compete in the next 2024.
Well, do you think this press release will not be a distraction for Team Nigeria? Will it be a distraction, or it will be a motivation factor for the athlete?
Money is always a motivation. Okay, if we say we don't like money, we'll be lying to ourselves. So $10,000, $15,000, $5,000 to a Nigerian athlete at this moment, especially if the athlete is based at home base in Nigeria, obviously it's going to be a motivation. But the issue is not about the money now that you're promising to this athlete. You guys have said it all. Why was this money not announced before now, prior to the Olympics? For me, I think the most important thing would be what happens after. Okay, all right. Blessing is one. It will be given $15,000 now. Fine. What happens after? In other countries, some countries like Malaysia, what they do is that every medalist, no matter what color or coloration of the medal, you are paid a stipend by the government for life. Okay, for life. How many of our gold medalists or any medal at all since we've been participating at Olympics? Okay, how many of them are actually doing really, really well at the moment? Chioma Ajunwan was promised a property. It took 25 years to get that. So it's not about, okay, win this, we're going to give you $15,000, while other countries are. We can make arguments from that. Singapore are giving over $750,000, but where is Singapore on the Olympic medals table? Have you searched? Have you looked at them? Where are they? Nowhere. So it's not about that. Sometimes don't get me wrong. Money is good. It's good. We all need it. Okay, especially these home-based people, they need it. But what happens after $10,000, $15,000 spent? What happens? We don't want a situation where all these proud men and women that are doing us proud as a country at this moment, 10 years down the line, we are doing GoFundMe for them. God forbid. So what happens? Are we taking care of that? Are we going to take care of them? Are we going to take care of their training? If they're injured, are we going to take care of them? Okay, so what will serve as a motivation for others coming behind? All right, so this is all we need to look into. Money is good, fine, blessing, 15K, good. After that, what? So we need to challenge our not the government now, even our National Olympic Committee. They should be doing this, not the government. So why do we have the NOC? I mean, what's the job of the NOC? In all these problems we're going through now, what is the job of the NOC? Okay, so that's my bit for now, and hopefully someone learns.
Of course, Dapo, let's get your reaction on the press release from the Sport Ministry. Hello, Dapo. Hello, Dapo. Can you hear me?
I'm with you. Okay. You don't promise athletes midway into a competition, into a major games, you don't promise them such financial, small financial gains, such financial rewards. It is counterproductive. It's not going to work. When you do that, you have finished the athletes. You are ruling out the athletes from the best of their best participation, the best of the best performances in the various events, because the money will be what I've been in sport before. I've been an athlete before. I played football at the point. The promise will be what you have in your mind. If you're an athlete, a sprinter, and you are sprinting, as you're making way and supposed to be focused, it is that reward that will be coming to your mind. Oh, in the next number of seconds now, this is the money I will be grabbing. You're forgetting that you have competitors around you. Those ones are focused on finishing well. But your focus will be that the money will soon be mine. It will definitely be mine. You lose concentration, and you cannot win. You cannot. It is always very wrong. It is always very wrong in sports, and that is why they always make it very clear, loud and clear, that any good athletes that want to make way should not gamble. You should not gamble. If you gamble, you cannot concentrate to perform optimally in that your sport. You cannot. There's no magic. It's over years upon years. Sports scientists have actually, done their research, and the the outcome. It is not possible. Just some years back, we had players go in the World Cup. They spent the whole night discussing bonuses. It must be $15,000. If it's not $15,000, it is not. It's nothing. We went there. We were beating black and blue in a World Cup that has actually been projected that Nigeria was going to win. That would have been the time that Nigeria would have won a World Cup. I'm talking about France '98. When you put money in it, you have destroyed the athletes. All other developed countries, they don't. You go there, perform when you perform, just like Alpha said, on the day of the reception, after you have gone back to your country, the president makes his own donations. We have seen it in Cameroon at the point for women's football. When they won the Women's Nations Cup, he gave them SUVs, Formatic Mercedes Benz, brand new for all the players, and apartments each for each of them. They never announced it. They never told focus, go and win. That was why we kept saying on this program that if any of our athletes are actually doing well, the minister should not go there. He should not go there. He shouldn't go there to go and make any form of promises. Don't promise them anything. Leave them alone. Leave them alone.
I was have to cut you
leave them alone
because our time is fast spent and we still have a whole lot to talk about. But looking at the football event that was played earlier today, Mexico and Brazil played in 0-0. Then after penalties, Brazil emerged winners in that particular one. They defeated Mexico 4-1. In the second semi-final, the Spanish team defeated host 1-0. Means that Brazil and Spain will actually be playing the finals of the football event. Being the country from South America and also a country from Europe will be playing the finals of the football event in the Olympics. But quickly, let's get your reaction. Who do you see getting to win the finals?
The Brazilians are there, so this makes it their third final of the Olympics in a row. Even though it was a tough game against the Mexicans, was in the penalty shootout, they were able to make it count. So I see the Brazilians beating the Spaniards for the gold medal match.
Of course, Jonathan, who do you pick?
I pick Spain.
You pick Spain. Vivian, are you picking Spain? Okay. Dapo, who do you see getting to win the gold medal in the football events? Brazil and Spain are in the finals.
I projected Brazil, and I've not changed that.
Of course, Dapo is actually no routine for Brazil at this point in time, but I keep my finger crossed on Spain. They can actually get to upset Brazil in the finals, but let's see how it goes. But moving away from the football event, we know that tomorrow Nigeria will be participating in some events. We'll be participating in canoeing. In that event, Bello, Ayomide Emmanuel, she will be competing in the women's canoe singles event, 200 meters. While in wrestling, we are going to see our own Odun Ayo Adekuroye, get to compete on the mat against a Moldovan athlete. Then in the men's freestyle event, 86 kg, our own Ekere Kweme will be competing against an Indian athlete in that particular one. So at this point in time, we want to wish them all the best. Hopefully, we should see Oduaye and the rest of the athletes get to progress to the next round. But for now, we'll go for the medals activity. Of course, at this point in time, People's Republic of China still maintaining their lead on the medals table. They have now won 32 gold medals. The United States has added 2 gold medals to their medals that they actually won yesterday to 24. China to 19 gold, Australia 14, Russia 13, Great Britain, wow, they have moved to 13 also. Germany 8 gold, France 6, Netherlands 6, Republic of Korea 6, and also Italy, they have won 6. Can we see the Nigerian? We have actually we're not on the medal table before, but at this point in time, we have moved up to the 64th position at this point in time. We have won 1 silver and 1 bronze medal in that particular one. But still looking at the African medals position, South Africa are leading in the African tables. They are leading with 1 gold medal, 2 silver, followed by Ethiopia with 1 gold medal, 1 silver medal, and 1 bronze medal. Tunisia have 1 gold medal, 1 silver medal in third. They are fourth for Morocco, 1 gold medal. Kenya 2 medals, 1 silver, 1 bronze. Nigeria in 6th place in the African ranking. They have 2 medals, 1 silver, 1 bronze. Uganda have 2 medals also, 1 silver, 1 bronze. Namibia 1 silver. Egypt 2 bronze medal. Cote d'Ivoire 1 medal, and Ghana 1 bronze medal. So those are the medals at this point in time. Quickly, let's get your reaction about the medal table.
Yeah, I mean, still continues to be a battle between the United States and China. Clearly they've sort of pulled away from everybody, and the contest now is just between the 2 of them. But at least finally we get to see Nigeria on the medal table, in 64th position, I guess. Hopefully by tomorrow, maybe 1 or 2 more medals will come to push up further higher up the rankings.
Like I said, it's basically between the United States and China. At the end of the day, it's still going to be between one of them.
Dapo, do you see Nigeria winning in the African continent when regards the medal table?
Yes, I see Nigeria, winning more medals tomorrow. We've started, the all has actually started. We have a silver and a bronze now. More will come in tomorrow, especially when Oduduru Adekunle is fighting. Oduduru is the world champion, and we expect that at the end of the day, she will emerge to be an Olympic champion. If any other thing happens, we'll still be very, very safe, still be Olympic, medalist. But I see in other events also, there's a possibility because the crisis period is over, because every other thing is beginning to fall into place, and we are beginning, our psychology is beginning to change, to be upright. We are more positive now, and we are brighter in our thinking now. Even in our faces, we don't squeeze our faces like we did in the first 2, 3, 4, 5 days. We are brighter now, and I believe it will continue like that until the end of Tokyo 2020.
I must thank you, Dapo, for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Of course, Alpha, thanks for coming on the show today.
A pleasure.
Jonathan,
Thank you very much.
nice having you on the show. At this point, we want to thank our viewers for coming on the show. Not forgetting our sponsors, talking about Casprint. They are the best printing, company in Nigeria. You can check them out, www.casprint.com.ng. I also want to thank NDLEA for their supporting us. They're cheering Team Nigeria all the way that they should actually go for good, and they're saying no to drug. Not forgetting Nimasa also, they are getting to support the show. They are saying the Nimasa steering the maritime industry to a better future. On this point, we'll make a return tomorrow, same time on the Leadership Podcast studio. But for now, we're saying do have a good night rest. Ensure that you pray for Team Nigeria to win more medals at the ongoing Tokyo Olympic Games. But for now, my name is Olawale Ayeni. I'm saying bye-bye for now. God bless you. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Bye-bye.